go to the correct bank and you lay these things out ahead of time, you can potentially get a lot of that funded by the bank when you purchase a new property. Hey, this is Steven, Gulf Coast Multifamily. I'm doing a video thinking about the capital expenditures funding that banks usually line up when you're buying a project that you plan to renovate. So the Capex is usually what you do to a property that doesn't necessarily need to be done every year or two. So not necessarily the operating expense, not fixing a toilet, but maybe replacing that toilet, or replacing appliances, fixing the roof, repaving the parking lot. A lot of those different items can qualify as Capex. And if you go to the correct bank and you lay these things out ahead of time, you can potentially get a lot of that funded by the bank when you purchase a new property. So if you think you'll bring the rents up to $1,000 from $700 if you do these 7 or 8 things that cost $500,000, there's a good chance you'll be able to find a bank that will fund, let's say, $400,000 or $350,000 of that $500,000 budget. Something that I've learned over the last few months, though, with a property that I brokered last year that we have taken over the management on, is it's very important to have a good understanding of what that bank views that process as. They oftentimes need different documentation, or they think checks go into a particular place when someone else, a title company or the contractor, thinks that process looks a little bit differently. But I would always recommend, especially now that I've seen what goes on with this particular project, I would highly recommend making sure that you understand the exact process from the bank, and making sure title companies, contractors, property managers, investors, make sure that everyone understands what that looks like, because oftentimes the buyer, the owner of the property, will have to fund that Capex and then wait for the money from the bank, or the contractor's waiting to get paid, which is sometimes not a good thing, and not keeping the property going at full steam ahead when you've got an opportunity to raise rents and fix units. So hopefully you got something out of that. If you've got any questions about Capex or Capex funding, I'd love to hear from you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Talk soon.